When the time of the prophecy comes, when all is revealed, then the people of the world will rejoice, already knowing who I am.
Today we're discussing one of the most iconic characters in the Street Fighter universe, Gill. With the announcement of Street Fighter 6 on the horizon, fans have been speculating about who the main villain of the game could be, and many have suggested that Gill could be the one to take up the mantle. In this video, we'll be explaining Gill's backstory and his potential role in Street Fighter 6 storyline, but how could he fit into Street Fighter 6 plot? Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighterverse. To start this video, let's start with the origins of the infamous Secret Society. The Secret Society in the Street Fighter series has existed for thousands of years in the regions of the world, often renowned for their powerful and influential civilizations, manipulating world political, social, military, and even criminal events, Shadowloo included, in order to achieve an ancient apocalyptic prophecy that would lead to a new age dominated by them. The prophecy and Gill as the savior. The Secret Society required a living messiah because their prophecies dictated that the rapture was imminent, thus signaling the end of humanity. Their messiah would be the one who would bring salvation and create a new Eden for the worthy remainder of mankind. Gill's ending from Street Fighter 3 Second Impact provides a paragraph explaining this prophecy. The events that signify the end of the world are said to take place in 2200 AD. The boy who controls the elements is said to refer to Gill, and the prophecy predicts that he will act as humanity's savior. While the prophecy would not come true for another 2 centuries, Gill, the current emperor, would take it upon himself to create a nation comprised of the fittest and best that humanity had to offer, in order to bring about their salvation. Feeling that the world's opposing forces have become unstable and imbalanced, Gill saw that the world's state of conflict and change had grown its peak before the eventual catastrophic cataclysm. To achieve this, he set several plans into motion, all called the G Project. And what is the G Project? The G Project is a compilation of various activities overseen by Gill to ensure the Secret Society's acts of world salvation. One revolved around an organized fighting tournament to seek out the worthy, and another included the conduction of illegal genetic experiments to create a race of super soldiers, giving way to the prototype Negro, who would eventually escape and go rogue, and the Soldier 12 to the finished product, who was tasked with hunting Negro down. A scientist known as Dr. Wu, who was kidnapped by the Secret Society, is one of the major figures involved with the G Project. The G File is a collective documentation of this plan. Although it appears like a scrapbook of various events throughout human history, all events entailed within were orchestrated to ensure the Secret Society's ultimate goal. Ibuki was given a part of the G-File containing documents entailing only the first stage of the project, which were now already within motion. The entire G-File consists of over 20,000 volumes of step-by-step instructions for enacting the G Project, aspects and world influence. Having existed since the early ages of human civilization, the Secret Society has control over nearly every field of society, with their influence reaching to the upper ranks and hierarchies of governments, corporations, and even the criminal underworld to carry out their bidding. They are shown to manipulate events and politics throughout the world, and are also seemingly in control of the flow and access of information and knowledge in the world, being shown to hold access to technological and scientific innovations, at least generations ahead of what is known to humanity in their current period, example cryogenics and cranial preservation. In addition, they possess knowledge and proof of existence of the occult and metaphysical, such as the utilization of ki, chakra, elemental manipulation, and harmonizing, and to a lesser extent, magic. They have also created and developed extremely powerful techniques, unique only to its members. The fall of the Black Moons. Though having stayed in the shadows for a long period of time, the Secret Society are shown to have a growing role of involvement by the times of Street Fighter V. As Shadowloo experiences rises and falls in power throughout its management under Bison, their active project Chains is of such a level of immense threat that Urien is focused to intervene with the cartel that the Secret Society helped start. However, it is ultimately unknown what the direction of the Secret Society had in mind for those bleak times. Urien's goals were to stop the commencement of the super weapons from ever being deployed and activated, while Gill and Colin seemingly desired the end results of Shadowloo's possibly greatest act of terrorism committed. Nevertheless, the crisis was averted thanks to the help of fighters summoned and deployed by the Kansuki Saibatsu. The reveal of Gill. After the Black Moon's incident, Gill unveils himself to the world through the use of live streaming and internet video platforms, specifically akin to G, the self-proclaimed president of Earth. Showcasing his strength in a street fight against G, they exchange a conversation that details Gill's role as the one who shall truly lead the world. The Fourth World Warrior Tournament. Sometime later, with the aid of his secretary Colin, Gill organized the Fourth World Warrior Tournament, desiring to learn which of the world's strongest fighters were deemed worthy of survival. Due to their sponsorship, however, word leaks out of the rumor of the organization's existence and attracts the attention of many, including Masters Hotel Tycoon head and US martial arts champion Ken Masters, and even the reclusive but legendary hermit Oro, to pursue more evidence of the organization's existence. In his Street Fighter III Third Strike ending, Gill collects the most powerful fighters in the world, parts the ocean by sheer force of will, and leads them to his perfect promised land, where they would be safe from the world's destruction. Gill described this destruction to Yoon as two opposing forces of the world becoming imbalanced. Gill's power lies in his own perfect balance of forces, so complete that it is evident in his own body, with the opposing forces of fire and ice separated in perfect symmetry. Gill appears to be able to inflict this balance on others, as demonstrated on Alex and Gill's Third Strike ending. This ending also displays him doing the same to the entire island, where the promised land exists. Fate. The fate of the secret society after the events in Third Strike is currently unknown. In Street Fighter VI, we might have seen details surrounding the stages that this type of organization is still alive. Coming out or retirement, with a crew of the strongest characters in the world, Gill might finally be the ruler of the world.
The Unchosen, a bonus stage chapter of Udon Comics, talks about how Urian's arrogance led him towards the defeat of power by his brother Gill. The secret society has a tournament of sorts, in which the worthy are put in battle against each other, in a contest to find out who will be the leader of the secret society. During this battle, only two of them survived the tournament, Urian and Gill. During their battle, Urian seems to have had the upper hand, having developed his master fire side, and beating his brother to the ground. His arrogance is displayed during battle. He tells his brother, "I have evolved to gain the very traits with which I will rule. Fists of iron, to obliterate any opposition in my path, and feet of stone, to squash any resistance beneath them. There is nothing and no one who will stand between me and the leadership of society, not even you." Or so he thought. While on the floor, Gill grabs Urian by the arm, and he is seen in control of both masters, fire and ice. You can see the shock in one of the cult elders in the chain of events. This full transformation was not possible for Urian. His soul was consumed by pure evilness and greed. Too unbalanced, I'd say. Urian wanted the people from the secret society to serve him. Gill, on the other hand, being able to fully develop, established a balance of evil and mercifulness towards the people he will serve and guide, the secret society. Gill explains to Urian that he is to serve as a leader and guide of the secret society, rather than see them as servants to his desires. Cult leader tells Gill to finish Urian, to claim his position as a lord of the secret society. Gill grants Urian salvation, and spares Urian's life, as his first decree after being named lord. Gill recognizes Urian's worth and strength, whom are important characteristics of being a good leader. This is the big difference between Urian and Gill. Urian didn't have the vision of a leader. His vision was solely upon his craving of unlimited power and feeding his own personal gains. Gill saw himself as a leader, which was exactly what the secret society really needed. He prides himself on being a calm and confident fighter, sometimes to the point of being arrogant, with a strong sense of justice. In this issue of the Udon Comics, and stated by Street Fighter fandom, Charlie is wandering through the desert until a helicopter finds him. Inside the helicopter appears Colin and Urian, who says that they had been looking for him. Charlie thought that he had been forgotten and lost forever. Colin tells him that a great warrior like him can never be forgotten, and that they came to take him by welcoming aboard the helicopter. Charlie was feeling confused, and he didn't know why and how long he had been wandering in the desert. Colin tells him that she could help him if he lets her. Charlie agrees to it, and she begins to go over his entire life, leading up to when they find him. He was first recruited into the US Marine Corps when he was 18 years old. He was said to be really intelligent and really strong for someone his age, and even outperform his superiors. He was also given the job to be a strategy consultant for an operation in Afghanistan called Operation Eye Eagle. They wanted Charlie to work behind closed doors, but he preferred to be in the battle. He led the charge in Afghanistan and discovered that Shadaloo was smuggling the weapons to terrorists. After this successful mission, Charlie would then join the US Air Force the following year, and he would later meet his future best friend Guile. Charlie would take Guile on the more dangerous mission to uncover what Shadaloo was doing. They discovered a Shadaloo laboratory and that they were using psycho power to do mind control, and he found the Marines used as Shadaloo test subjects. When Charlie and Guile rescued the Marines and took them back home, one of the Marines pressed a button in his thumb and self-destructed. As Colin was telling the story of Charlie's time in the US Air Force, Charlie became more confused. Colin asked him if he wanted her to stop. She would, but he wanted her to finish the story. Charlie's next mission was traveling to Japan, gather more information about Shadaloo. When the base was self-destructed, he would find Abel and rescue him. Charlie vowed he would do everything he could to bring Shadaloo to justice once and for all. He would return to the Middle East to gather more intelligence. He found a man who worked for Shadaloo and interrogated him until he revealed the base in Thailand. The base turned out to be the central headquarters, and it was a training ground for the female assassin known as the Dolls. Charlie witnessed Cammy killing the detective who was later revealed to be Chun-Li's father. Charlie himself would be captured by M. Bison. Though the government presumed him to be dead, he was actually another subject to Bison's brainwashing experiment, which would turn him into Agent Shadow. While under the control of Bison, Charlie would carry out assassinations for him. This would eventually lead him to Chun-Li and Guile, who he unwillingly attacked. Guile snapped him out of it by giving him back his dog tags. When Charlie came to his senses, he joined Guile and Chun-Li on their mission to stop Bison, but he was shot down by a helicopter piloted by Bison. Charlie was believed to be dead, and Guile was ready to avenge him. While Chun-Li and Guile fought back Bison in a losing effort, the psycho power within Charlie would revive him, and he fought Bison alone. Knowing that his life was coming to an end, he destroyed the cliff and plunged himself and Bison into the sea. Colin then states that he was then dead. This would disturb Charlie to where he lashed out at Colin, but then he was restrained by Urien. Colin tells him that his body was dead, but not his mind. The psycho power was keeping his brain and memories alive. Charlie then asked her, if he's dead, then how did she find him in the desert? She then revealed to him that she works for the Secret Society, and that they recovered his body and took it to their lab. The whole helicopter was just an illusion, and that she was simply talking to him mentally. She tells Charlie that he has a second chance if he gives them his commitment. If he would refuse, then he would once again go back to wandering the desert. Before leaping out of the helicopter, Charlie states that when he became a soldier, his life was never to his command. He swore to protect everything under God's creation and turned himself over to his duty. After Charlie left the helicopter, Urien asks Colin if this would work. Colin tells him that it will, since Charlie is willingly allowing them to control him, whereas Bison tried to force it. She then says that a mind can be controlled when it agrees to be controlled. The comic ends with Charlie awaking in their lab, and his body reconstructed while Gill is overlooking him. We found the comic to do justice to Charlie's backstory, or at least make sense of what Capcom initiated with their character stories. Udon always does its best to bring sense into the character development and background story to their own form and interpretation. You guys should definitely pick this comic up. We really loved it. We think you would love it as much as we did.
So what do you like about Gill's story? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage.
Our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel, because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.